you very, we touched on your creativity and your out of your box thinking, but I wanted to find out from you how that's, made you so successful with your really out of the box thinking and absolutely being able to implement it and get it from a thought process into an actual situation or a usable package or a usable function, or because it's really, really worked.
Right. I would say that's probably the key area of my success at iCare Pro, was being able to not only innovate and come up with an idea, but to get it to the point where it was actually an implementable idea, and then actually make sure that it was seen to fruition and achieved.
So do you manage all these projects from the beginning to the end?
I manage them from the beginning until they have a team that's able to start, and then I'm kind of like a consultant to the team in terms of getting it off the boat. And I've seen that it's, you don't want to go away too early, because you have all the components in place. You want to have a capable team that can work on it and see you as a resource whenever they need to. And you want to find the right person that's going to evolve the product, because a product doesn't stop innovating when you give it over. It just has it moves over to stage 2 of innovation, which is, it's now a real product. That's the primary concern, and then it's innovating within that parameter. So what am I looking for when I'm creating, or what's my style, or repeat the question just so I'm clear.
You're out of your box thinking.
Yeah, and how that's impacted.
How do you come up with the ideas and then manage the project? How do you, because your ideas are amazing and they've never been thought of. They really are unique. So how do you get such a new idea into fruition? How does it, how do you get it to actually be something?
So this is something you'll appreciate, Lauren, because I know this is something you say all the time. Your job is to listen, right? You listen to the people working for you. You listen to your customers. You listen to your boss, right? When you listen to people, you pick up on their needs, right? And if your employee says, I need this to be successful, well, then all of a sudden you come up with a way of doing that, and you innovate, and that's valuable because that's what they need. If your customer says, I need this to be successful, or I've heard about this place and they're doing this and they're making their business is growing because so the innovation comes from listening. Sometimes I like to speak a lot, and so sometimes I don't necessarily come off as listening, but I do. I really do listen to, and I value what people say, because I know that they have their experience that is important to understand. So OD Specialty or OD Capture both came about from listening. So did OD Referral. Was listening to customers and trying to understand, what is it that they really need? What is it that they really not even need? It's what is it that they really value? What would they really value? So OD Specialty came about and saying,
also what will make them more successful.
Right. So it's what do they value, and how can you achieve it in a way that's really impactful, that's going to make part of it is also just having a keen business sense and realizing that any innovation that you're going to have has to be financially doable. It has to be sellable, right? As a salesperson, you have that side of things. It has to be sellable, and it has to have margins. Being a former entrepreneur, cash flow is king, right? You can't do anything unless it's going to be thought of from that angle as well. So any innovation, any business that you have has to really take that strongly into account as, is this going to be able to fund itself in 6 months, in a year, right? So there's
your go-to-market strategy.
Yeah, and go-to-market strategy is extremely important before you even start working on any angle, because you can't innovate for this. Just there's tons of ideas out there, right? But you can't innovate, and then also part of it is to experiment and be willing to fail, and willing to say, this isn't. I've worked on quite a few innovations, which I've started. Maybe hired a consultant here or there to help me work on new ideas. And then I've just realized that this wasn't going to be something that was either doable, or it was too much risk, or it just, there are other priorities going on. And so you have to cut it off earlier, and,
it's also a very important quality.
Yeah, right.
Is being able to accept failure.
Yeah, right.
Because in the end, that's what it is.
You can't be too in love with your innovations that you can't give it off. You can't be too in love with your innovation that you can't kill it off.
Correct.
Right. So
the other thing you just mentioned was getting people to assist you with your project. So what is this? Upworkers? Where do you get the people from, and how do you, get this off the ground and
Yeah, so I mean,
find
it's
people?
yeah, you find people, you try to assess their strengths, you try to put in the right person for the job.
How
And
do you do this with Upworkers?
so I haven't just done this with Upworkers. I've done this with iCarePros workers as well. The who heads up OD Specialty, or who heads up OD Capture, or who heads up the referral program, are all major components
Yes.
of finding the right person for what is needed right now, or for. But in general, what you're looking for is to balance the need for just man hours with the need
Mhm.
for leadership. And so
Okay.
I would say the earlier stages, when I'm kind of really just, this is still within my total control, I'm just
Hmm.
looking for assistance, right? I don't have a million
Yes.
hours a day, so I'm looking to take somebody under my wing who can just assist me at a low cost, because it's not generating revenue just yet. And so that's where I might, take on specific people from like outsourced, and say, hey, you're going to be working on just one component, just video editing, or just, website development, or just writing, or whatever. Um, Building that person up to a skill level where they can go ahead
Hmm.
and add more value in other projects, or stay on this project and continue to add value. But when you hand off the project to its own team, then you're looking for somebody who has um, more of an innovation and leadership style